Good morning, Namaste. Welcome to this class of dance as yoga and fitness. Today we are going to discuss this very important aspect of the importance of yoga and fitness in dance. According to Indian philosophy, the practice of an art is considered as a form of yoga. When an artist creates a painting or music or dance, the thought process and the meditation that goes into creating the final tangible outcome is akin to maintaining a yogic posture and transcending from the mundane world. Due to this, Indian art had reached a pinnacle of perfection, and in Hinduism and Buddhism, the monks and saints saw artistic creativity as part and parcel of their journey to salvation. Coming to dance in India, it has been described as a Natya Yoga, as the dancer, while dancing, is able to bring all his or her physical activities to align with her mental state as dictated by the character. In other words, when the dancer remains in the sthai bhav of the character, the dancer becomes the character itself and they become inseparable. Just as a yogi undergoes a physical and mental penance to align with the axis of transcendence, a dancer aligns his or her body, mind, and soul through practice during the dance to the axis to achieve transcendence. During this alignment, the dancer takes the audience as well as in his or her journey and makes them realize that the dance is a form of yoga. As one browses through the pages of Natya Shastra, one cannot miss the various permutations and combinations Bharata has devised, methodically systematized and codified, making Indian dance as a good exercise for the development of the body. As Sudharani Raghupati lists the benefits of dance for a child, dance helps in concentration, number 2, exercising the limbs, number 3, acceleration of circulation, number 4, correcting certain faults, number 5, growth physical and mental, number 6, relaxing the body and mind, number 7, the imagination of the child, which is the most important aspect of growth. If we look at any Indian classical dance, we notice that the dancers use various parts of their body to create the art on the stage, just like an artist uses his brush and colors to paint a canvas. Unless the artist has a good brushes and sharp colors, any painting he conceives does not reach high quality. Similarly, the body needs to be in good shape, not in terms of figure, to be able to perform dance and invoke various rasas. Bharata of Natya Shastra knew that the body has to be conditioned properly in order to achieve the objectives. Thus, through the various movements described and codified in Natya Shastra, one could achieve the maximum conditioning of the body. Current practitioners of Indian dance follow a warm-up routine before they start the performance or even for regular classes. Warming up of the body is important as much as cooling down after the performance. In Kuchipudi, gurus make the students to jump, sketch and make their bodies supple and keep the heart at a rate where complex rhythmic patterns can be executed at ease. In Bharatanatyam, slow stretches of thigh muscles, ankles and biceps are done as warm-up exercises. Although Bharatanatyam dancers use bicep toning so as to maintain the Natyarambhe position or the pose at the beginning of the dance. Many dancers include leaps and jumps that are inspired by other forms such as Kalaripayattu, Chow, etc. This intermingling of movements helps in toning and strengthening the breath control in dancers. It is also common practice among dancers to calm their mind before a performance. In order to do that, many spend time in the green room doing prayers and meditation in seclusion to achieve the tranquility. Dancers such as Shanta Rao have been known to spend hours in meditation in a green room before coming out for a performance. Others take a break a day from rehearsals and before the performance by doing power naps or conscious sleeping to calm their minds and recover from the fatigue of rehearsals. Indian classical dance offers multi-layered approach to a dancer's physical and mental well-being. First and foremost, the dance is physical and exerts a physical strain akin to someone who jogged or underwent exercises. Also in Indian dance, the dancers are trained to breathe out only through the nose and not from the mouth. Thus, over a period of time, the breathing becomes easy even when executing a complex rhythmic pattern, making the dancer develop breath control. Such breath control increases stamina and endurance. Just like a good exercise, Indian dance strengthens the heart, improves blood circulation, increases lung capacity, and involves every muscle of the body. Additionally, during all these physical activities, the mind is aligned and in tune with the song and the tala that is being performed. Hence, Indian dance challenges the brain and keeps it sharp. Such combinations of activities involving brain, mind and soul helps a person to a joyful experience and also to relax. Dance is yoga. Dancer Aparna Ramaswamy postulates that Bharatanatyam embodies the principles of Ashtanga Yoga. In Ashtanga Yoga, the asanas and pranayama combined with the mental outlook paves the way for immersion in dhyana and leading to samadhi. Due to regular practice, at some point of time the dancer becomes the dance, and every dancer after that point of time becomes a yogi. To become a perfect dancer, Bharata in Natya Shastra says that the dancer cannot be egoistic, arrogant, and should have self-discipline, self-restraint, self-transcendence, and humility. Thus, a dancer can achieve transcendence and bring out the true rasa in the dance if and only if the dancer has become a true yogi. Using the vocabulary of Ashtanga Yoga, one could understand how rasa is created in Bharatanatyam or for that matter any dance. Thus, for any dance, until unless the mind and body are integrated, it cannot become a yogic method. Aparna Ramaswamy stresses that Bharatanatyam qualifies as Ashtanga Yoga as the dance can be self-oriented for self-cultivation, self-enjoyment and self-enrichment. In the privacy of the dancing space, it can be a practice only for the dancer, where the dancer can invoke and experience oneness or rasa. Navtej Singh Johar, a trained Bharatanatyam artist, has used yoga and still continues to teach yoga in his studio Abhyas. In the last 10 years, he has dovetailed yoga in Bharatanatyam along with a multi-layered approach and aesthetics with poetics, politics, history and philosophy. He says that he is drawn to the rasa and dhvani as expounded by Abhinav Gupta. While keeping the theme of eroticism essential, he believes that a dancer is not only a vessel but also recipient of what he or she produces. Similar to what Aparna Ramaswamy says in her thesis, Navtej reiterates that the dancer not only expresses bhava but also experiences rasa. He further adds, I am very clear that I am not a carrier of any message nor a propagator, advocate or ambassador of any culture. My job is to orchestrate experience in which I, the performer, remain central. Music continues to play a very vital part in my work. Almost all my work hinges on a padam, javli, thumri, and of late I have also started to use voice and singing in performance. My work is almost always making a comment on dance, its inherent eroticism, its fabricated histories, which I find problematic, and the controlling hierarchies that prevail within it. So, the targeting of reconstructed narratives, both political and philosophical, has become central in my work over the last few years. To me, Indian dance is not an innocent affair. It is a hugely complex, political driven, problematically defined and projected as an idea of India that is neither historically sound nor secular or democratic. My continuous attempt is to find some autonomy for dance as for the body within a context that is hugely manipulated and is manipulative and oppressive in turn. In his dance, he has relied majorly on yoga and its principles. The breathing technique of Ujjayi has helped him significantly. This method of breathing or pranayama, where the inhalation is through the nose and while exhaling, the epiglottis is partially closed, thus making a gentle hissing sound like the hiss of a cobra. Hence, this is also known as cobra breathing. Ujjayi technique increases the oxygenation and builds internal body heat. It also awakens the spine, and due to the audible sound in exhalation, the practitioner can auto-engage in the process. According to Navtej Johar, who practices this, yoga and its breathing techniques teaches him to remain as the primary recipient of the after effects of what he physically is generating. This has a lasting effect of centering and sweet, deeply satisfying state of bliss. The direct bearings of yoga in his dance is that the body are also becomes available to receive and absorb the echo of the movements the body generated to begin with. The result is that the dancer is in a state of tranquility, or itminan as they call it, which is palpable and audience notices it. According to Navtej Johar, this tranquility or peace is a great asset in every performance. It is important for dancers to realize their body, anatomy, and the physical extremes that they can push themselves to. Since the body is the instrument a dancer uses to dance, understanding their body type helps in identifying which type of warm-up exercises can be more suitable. Accordingly, there are three body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. Ectomorphs are characterized by long and lean body and have higher degree of nerve tissues, helping them in quick and sudden movements. Mesomorphs are characterized by dominance of muscle and connective tissue, thereby having broad shoulders and athletic appearance. Endomorphs are characterized by even distribution of weight, and musculature falls in between the ectomorph and mesomorph. In relation to dance, the ectomorph has poor circulation that leads to poor endurance. The mesomorph can enjoy gross motor activities but struggles with flexibility and extreme tempos, fast or slow. In contrast, the endomorph has the ability to relax, but it's challenged with rapid movement and quick to gain weight. In reality, no one individual falls strictly in one of the categories. Rather, they have all three with a predominance of one body type over the others. Also, dancers fall within the numerous combinations of the three body types. Another important thing for a dancer is to understand the symptoms and locate the source of the pain. Covering up a pain or neglecting it leads to chain reactions that, when correctly understood, could empower the dance rather than act as a disadvantage. Jean Couch, the author of Runner's Yoga book, recommends yoga stretches that facilitate optimal movement patterns. For examples, the asanas such as Sukhasana, Baddha Konsana, Akara Dhanurasana, Baudha Kon Asana, Ardha Padmasana, Nataraj Asana help the hips and its associated joints. These are called hip openers and help the dancer to keep fit and aid in their optimal performance schedule. In her thesis, Solveig Santinalonu says, "For me, evolving with yoga as a steady stream of continuity throughout life is a lovely analogy that goes hand in hand with attaining balance of the three gunas, the hot rajasic effort required, the ability to remain grounded physically, in reality and in practicality, tamas, and the satya, the peace of mind that allows us to let go in the moment of what is get a good night's sleep, replenish and nourish ourselves, and remain available to use our physical vessel as a means of expression." Dance as therapy. In India, dancers such as Kanaka Sudhakar, Kanak Rele, Asta Devu, and Ambika Kameshwar have directed major part of their work towards dance therapy. Kanaka Sudhakar explains that Indian classical dance consists of all yoga poses. Due to its quick movements, Bharatanatyam provides vigor and agility. Also, the reflexes become strong due to movements governed by tala and rhythm. Although Bharatanatyam was not meant to be a system of exercise, it is, however, fulfills all the requirements of an ideal exercise. Bharatanatyam, or for that matter, all classical dances of India, provide a wholesome exercise where the respiratory system, digestive system, circulatory system, muscular system, acupressure effects, and so on and so forth. Ambika Kameshwar, through her foundation Rasa, has reached out to thousands of children who have benefited from her, and this has been reflected in their growth and development. Also, her application of theatre arts in the development of people with special needs, such as children with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, and other limitations, have been successful. She uses a mix of dance, music, drama, storytelling, and art as tools of learning. The Mohiniyattam dancer, Kanak Rele, has developed a new methodology with dance as a therapy. She has implemented this therapy and has seen instances where the children with special needs came out having a significant improvement. She has worked with visually challenged, hearing and speech challenged, physically challenged, and the mentally challenged. For the visually challenged, that she devised movements along with sounds, and for the hearing and speech impaired, movements of the Naga bamboo dance. As with any children, the special needs children were also attracted to birds and animals, hence the movements mimicked animals from Jataka tales. She identified that the navel region is as the center of gravity or bindu. According to the children and their movements, the bindu gets adjusted and loss of balance leading to unnaturalness in the shape of body and movements. Thus, she devised movements that would strengthen the bindu and enhance the flow of the energy. These dance exercises, as per anatomical requirements of the children, help them to give dependency on crutches, overcome fear, and gain confidence. Dance movements can also rehabilitate individuals using body awareness, symmetry, and shape of the body. In one such instance, as recounted by her, she met a young girl who had facial paralysis and could not smile and could not blink. Using dance gestures and facial expressions as therapy, in a few months, the girl was able to close her open mouth at her will and started smiling. The facial exercises given to her were upangas as described in Natya Shastras and Kathakali's early morning exercises that were suited to the young girl's physical limitations, such as Drishti Bhedas, Griva Bhedas, Shiro Bhedas, and the Kathakali exercises where they rub coconut oil all over their face and pinch different areas. Also included were blowing the cheeks, squeezing the mouth, throb the lower eyelid, expand and contract the nostrils. There are other numerous examples where her method of dance therapy has produced significant improvements in the people's lives. Asta Devu is another dancer who is helping disabled school children from underprivileged areas among the dance as a therapy. So far, he has helped 400 children and worked with a wide range of communities. Pallavi Kulkarni conducted an interesting exercise where she taught Indian classical dance to 25 children between the ages 10 and 20 who were mentally challenged with IQ range of 30 to 17. She found that they responded to emotions depicted and were fascinated by the various hand gestures. For those with poor balance, dance poses in Ekpada help them in gain balance. As the study was conducted over a period of years, some children developed good muscle tone and strength and also improved their social skills. Dance during pregnancy. During pregnancy, there are a gamut of exercises women could do that help them in delivery and recuperating afterwards. It has been reported that the dance can and has acted as successful aids in pregnant mothers, and this trend is slowly picking up speed. Dancer A.V. Narayan in Bangalore has devised movements endorsed by gynecologists, keeping expectant mothers in mind by mixing Bharatanatyam and martial arts. It has been reported that dance therapy during pregnancy reduces body fat, strengthens muscles, and makes the body supple for a smooth delivery. Dance as fitness. According to Dr. Krishna Raman, who has many dancers as his clients, understanding the anatomy and physiology of the human body is a must for every dancer. Unfortunately, no guru or institution has these as part of the curriculum. Also, kinesiology and body kinetics are important to knowledge that dancers need to develop. He adds that in the West, dancers are aware of how the metabolism of body affects their performance, and accordingly they adjust their diet and plan their intake of fluids, etc. He also stresses upon the ergonomics which could help in recovering from muscle injuries after a performance. Dancer Jayalakshmi Eshwar says that dance has proven scientific benefits for the body and the mudras help to keep the body in shape. A holistic balance between body and mind helps a dancer keep good mental health.